Making Christmas, making Christmas. Are we streaming? Yes, we are. Welcome to the stream. All right, guys. We are actually testing another scenario. We're designing a scenario today, so it should be pretty fun. What you're looking at is there's this massive river out here on Lubeck. I want to do a water crossing, so we're going to do a bit of scripting. We're going to see how the AI plays it. More than likely, we're going to put 3 objectives, and we're going to kind of give ourselves some breathing room. And so basically at that red line, we're going to call it, we need like more. We need like a nice long assault. No. And I want it to be like a little bit wider. It would be nice if it would zoom in again. I don't know why it's not. So we're actually going to make that a bit narrow. So we're going to assault across 3 waterways and conduct a cool little amphibious invasion. We have 1. I wish it would start working again. But basically, we want to give them some breathing room to defend these areas. We really don't know what this section of map looks like yet until we get down there and take a look at it. But there's a lot of area. We're going to give ourselves 3 water crossing points, and we're going to try and assault 3 of these towns, or at least 2 of these towns. Right here, maybe this one and this one and this one. And we're going to make the bridges impassable, because why would the bridges be up? And then there's this whole area over here that I think I'm going to make impassable as well. So let's give ourselves some more breathing room at the top. All right, so basically everything right here will be defend out, and then we're going to attack. And we're going to say they're dug in, so we need to get past some mines and stuff and whatnot. So let's go like that. I don't like that that's here. We'll put a minefield or something. Let's see. As far as air superiority, we're going to have no neutral units in the area. We don't really need balanced air superiority, but we're going to leave it as is. I believe if this is dynamic, we can have maximum whatever we want. It's weird that we can only pick armored for them or infantry. It's like the US can have dynamic, but no one else can have dynamic. Maybe that's just selects it for both of them. I'm not quite sure. We're going to start with weather. We're going to make the weather a little bit bad. Wind's going to be weak. Temperature is going to be cold. And the terrain is going to be summer, winter. Ground condition, fair. Destruction, we'll do that later. And we're going to do fair. And it's obviously not June. It's January. 1983 is fine. So that's going to be a pretty bad situation. We got to do a water crossing in the middle of winter, just like George Washington. And we're going to have kind of limited line of sight. So we're actually going to switch this to a defend, or actually we're an attack. We need to switch player start east because we need to go across this. We're going to say an advance. We're going to drag this up a little bit. We're going to say no dummy objectives either. And basically these are the 3 towns we need to secure. So we kind of want these 2 bridgeheads. We're going to say that's not there. And then we might add 1 more objective right here, just short of this town. So we really, really want these towns right here. And so how we connect this water crossing will be interesting. More than likely we'll attack in here, maybe split off, but it could be pretty interesting. And we're going to give ourselves some space. We don't really need to be like all the way back there. And we do have this main avenue right here that we could cross if we really wanted to. And a lot of these roads will bring us to these bridge crossings, but what we really need to do is add water crossings. So we're going to say the water is impassable, but we're actually going to paint some zones. Water crossing points. Yeah, we're just trying to figure out some good water crossing points. I would really like the ability to view the map, like before I do all this editing, because I've never been in, played this map. So we're doing a quick little water crossing scenario. So we're gonna give ourselves like some points to cross, because I don't. It looks like this is all elevated terrain, and we're gonna blow these bridges. So let's do this. Destruction zone. Bridges are gone, or at least no-go zones. So the bridges we can't go across at all. And then this is a no-go zone as well, all the way up there. Right, we can't just go around. We need to like activate. I wish I knew where. So we're gonna say we can't cross anything until up here. So all of this is gonna be unable to be crossed, which is gonna be good. And then we have our no-go zones right here. So basically we're sprinting across here. So we need to like breach through there. And we got to breach through here. And then we need to go here. So we'll go into this town, like right here, into this town. And we'll go over here, just short of the bridge. So across the middle into that objective, across this side into this objective, or however the player wants to play it. So paint zones, water crossing point. We're just going to say water crossing point right here, and water crossing point right here. So it's going to suck, right? It's going to suck for our team, because they need to secure these two towns, but they're really limited in where they need to attack. And maybe it would make more sense to, let's do this. Force the player to what? Go away. Go away, dude. Out of the door. People just visiting my goddamn door. Goddamn door people. Goddamn door people, man. What are they called? Solicitors. I guess I gotta get a no solicitor sign, because this is like the third time this week that someone solicited at my door. God dang. I know everyone like has to work, but Jesus, bro. Stop soliciting. All right, let's go back to whatever we were doing. We have our water crossing points. The water is incrossable. Now I'm just completely like befuddled. 3 water crossing points. Objective 1, objective 2. I don't even know what these towns look like. Defense is fortified and dug in. So this is going to be hell to get across. Urban open hills, player objective. No dummy objectives. Combat power doesn't matter. I don't know what that means, but we're making it go all the way up. Manual, armor, dynamic, advanced. Everything's maximum. There we go. So we just need to quickly choose something, and then we can go back to our scenario and fix it. Am I like having like a bunch of bugs? Like what's going on? So we need like a relatively armored scout section. So let's just... We don't want dismounts. I guess we're going to do an M113. I don't know what these are. I guess if I click on them, it'll tell you. All right, so it's a battalion scout section. We don't need that big of a scout section. So we have 3 water crossing points, so we should have like 3 teams of scouts. How big is a battalion? Yeah, but like 1... That's like a massive scout team. Let's do this. Let's just add our scouts real quick. Done. BMD 1. These BMDs are going to be tricky. Welcome, Unblessed Coffee. Scout platoon. 3 scout teams with an RPG and a BMD 1. That's going to be pretty brutal. I mean, that's a pretty strong defense. BMP 1 with with an ATGM. What are we thinking with this BMP 1? Like, what's its purpose in a recon team? 2 BMP 1s, counter recon. It's fine. We only need 1. So let's go done. Let's go save. This is water crossing. So now we're like 30 minutes into this. Easy mode, show hidden AAR, show victory levels, always play enemy sounds. That's fine. Save. So now we go back to the main menu. We can finally look at this map. Because there's a lot we need to do with it. Mission editor. Water crossing. Edit deployment. So when we look at this map, we can kind of decide where we want to put our troops. Oh, very wintry. I guess I should be... So ideally, I don't really like where these objectives are. This hill is really interesting. It's actually a really good spot. We could put some some dismounted ATGMs up here, lock them in. And then we have 2 water crossings. So what do the U.S. forces have? So this is where the U.S. forces will... How do I go faster? This is where the U.S. forces will be crossing at this point right here. Yo, what's up, campaign series? Or Jason. Right. But let me do this. Let me click on this. We're designing a scenario right now. We're just checking a few things. Always another day. I just had to like tell a solicitor to go away. I need to get a no solicitor sign. That's like the 3rd one this week. So we have no-go zones right here because we have a bridge. We could have either mined that. I guess that could have been mined. With Rogers. LOL, no joy. What's going on with Rogers? Oh, Mr. I'm confused on that statement. I apologize. 2 hours on the phone with Rogers. LOL, no joy. I don't know. I'm confused. Is that phone upgrade? Oh. You got to get a new phone. Man. Send you my upgrade. And this isn't a good spot either for this objective. So it's outside of the zone. So this is looking like an okay map. Some small villages. We got to get you a new phone, man. You always need a new phone. Do you have phone insurance? Is it paid off? No. So like once you design the map, like it's kind of one of the downsides is like once you design the map, you are, or the base scenario, you can't really do much, I think. Let me take a look. Edit objectives. No, they did. All right, sweet. So this was this hillside right here. I'm glad. Maybe I'm just delusional. So we want here. Oh man, yeah. We have those people at my work who just like my phone's getting up there, but a lot of people don't want to upgrade their phone because they don't want to like change their service provider, or they don't want to pay the extra money, or they just don't want to move everything over. Yeah. Well, why wouldn't they update your phone if it's out of date and paid off? That doesn't make any sense. It's a 7. Oh, God, yeah. No, you got to get that updated. It's security concerns now. I always try and stay relatively up to date. That might be better. Right, because we don't just, I mean, if we secure this beachhead would, is fine. It's okay. I mean, but yeah, I mean, the banks, like technology always moves. It's always moving and evolving and growing. So it's always good to stay relatively up to date. And then when the apps update, you can stay up to date. We had to fight with a lot of people on the phone. I would rather have Air Force. They're going to be, they're not going to be super amphibious, I think. I think we're just going to have a water crossing point, which means anyone can cross here. So we're probably going to be M113s and whatever aquatic forces the U.S. have. I'm probably going to mix in some tanks anyway. I wish we could build bridges or something to allow like tanks to move across the water, make it more immersive, and there's not really triggers or anything. So maybe we could set like a time limit and have like an air assault force come through, but all that would be in the scenario. I'm just looking at it right now. It's easier for me to look at it and kind of work my way through it than like design something like all the way. So right now I'm just deciding if this is the scenario I want to see, or is this like the objective placement, and then the opponent placement would be next. Like, right, we're gonna go ATGM right here, because this is just gonna be a standard Soviet defending force. And if we put a lot of armor or a lot of BMPs, those have a lot of armor penetrating power. So if we send a bunch of M113s across the front lines, it's not really going to be that much fun because they're just going to get shredded. So then realistically, we'd want to have like a lot of artillery and a lot of air support on standby. And then right now I'm just deciding on, I'm making it make sense in my head on objective placement. These guys have the worst, so we're probably going to put some ATGM teams in here. And they're going to have to go through that tree line and across this area. But let's just say that they couldn't really choose where to cross. And we can't really update the water crossing points either. So we're just trying to get a layout for the map, like how the scenario plays out to make it make sense. We can't just pick some random area and then not make it fun. So this sucks for them, for the U.S. forces. That open space right there, what is that like? 300, almost 1,000 meters of open terrain they need to cross. So how the player does that, that's going to be up to them to decide. I think everything sits like 4 to 8 meters off the ground. Ooh, look at that. Oh, that keyhole right there. With crossings on both sides. Man, I miss Empire Total War. But they can only cross at these green points right here. So I did add a third right here just to kind of provide relief. If that's something they wanted to do in this general vicinity. But it's... Yeah, I have it on my thing. I'm not a mobile gamer. I play card games. Like, I mean, if you want to play Magic the Gathering, I play card games on my mobile phone. Right there, which puts them on a good old high-speed crossing. We can't do anything about that no-go zone. They just won't be able to go there. And it allows for like a solid flank. So I think I'm satisfied with those deployment zones. I'm satisfied with this. This is going to give them like an area to get in. And so we want them to capture these two zones. We could add a third objective further back, or one right here too. So they have to do like a pincer maneuver, but you'd have to fight your way through these towns. And we really need to see how they handle just like the urban fighting. And that's like one thing I miss about like Flashpoint campaigns is the ability to AI versus AI, just to see how your scenario plays out. But I think this looks relatively manageable. Our scouts are going to forward deploy obviously to right here. So let's take a look at that. Is that even like a good scout position? So back it up. Relatively, I mean, that's, so they're going to deploy what, 50 meters in front. And we got to go this way. So they're going to be fine wherever they're at. This is as far forward as they can go, I believe. So we're not going to put any AI in this like zone right here. All the AI is oh shit. We got to no-go this right here. Someone at my door again. Bro, no solicitors. No solicitors. No solicitors.
It's Grandma and Sullivan.
No solicitors.
I found a sign I want.
Get in a goddamn sign.
It says, no solicitors. I'll sacrifice you to the old gods, not the new.
No, just no solicitors. God dang. Never had a solicitor until this week. Must be Christmas. So we got to turn this into a no-go zone. Shit. I don't think we can do that. We screwed up. So the U.S. forces can basically put their entire force over in this corner and not worry about the water crossing. Fuck me. Fuck me. Edit deployment, edit parameters. Edit objectives. There we go. All right. We could pull the deployment zone all the way back here. And what that does is now they can't spawn forward, but then it really makes recon basically worthless. And so you're going to have like a lot of time. This sucks. A lot of time between this and this. I mean, we either have a lot of travel time, or we redo the entire map, or we just paint this all no-go right here. We just say it's a minefield. Why is it a minefield? Don't know. There we go. Save. All right, let's start editing the deployment. Can you make them further east? Edit objectives. No. No. Warsaw Pact's red right here. So east, yeah, never. I mean, I can make them further east. I mean, I can make Warsaw Pact all the way east like that. But then why? But then why have the water crossing point? Like, why then? We had to think of like attrition. So if we're on the offensive, like through this open terrain, and then we get to here where our objectives are, I guess we could have like scattered fighting. But realistically, I think that would be like a bit like much. I think. Do you not think that would be like a bit much? Like we'd add a third objective in here, and then you go bing, bong, bong. But if the player then like wait, yeah, I mean we could like pull it. I mean, it's a lot to fight through. We'd have to put the player on a path. You know what I mean? Yeah, that's true. I mean, I can script the Warsaw Pact. I want the U.S. to get. I was thinking more just making it terrible for them to get across the river. I mean, we can do that. So we could actually do this, I guess. How do I make this bigger again? Right. Speed bump. We'd have to add a third objective to kind of like direct the player. Right there. Just to say, hey, go this way. Follow the road. I don't know what's there though. If we send them up here, they'd be way off target. So if we say we go exit, say we go edit deployment. What does that look like now? Speed bump. I mean, we could just put them retreating too. Like, we'll move the objective over into this town. Is this like a hill or something? So this is a hill right here. So this would make more sense for an objective, this hillside, because it's a good vantage point. So they just fight their way to right there. And then, I mean, it's the hill or the town. I mean, the town, you know, so the hill is a better vantage point because it gives you a good overwatch. So we exit, we go edit objectives. We move that up. I think that should be the hill. Now we just got to like target this, figure out where it's at. It's a little off target, but we're going to slide it over like 20 meters. I imagine it's not going to be perfect. So we have our two main highways of approach. We're going to put ATGMs, I think, on this roadway because that's where the U.S. forces would more than likely go. There we go. Okay. Wait, edit objectives. Did I save that? Yes. Then we go select forces. So we're going to start small. We have 2 scout sections. I mean, like, those are battalion scouts. I don't even think there's an the scouts don't need an HQ unit. So if we think scouts, we have M113s. Each one, they're basically pretty weak. Hand grenades, laws with ammunition 3. And they're in M113s. There is an M90. But why would we have an M90 scout section? Just move forward, smoke. I guess it depends on how powerful we're trying to be. So if we did that, wouldn't it be better to take like the 3 scout sections with an M90, M113, and 2 scout teams? Take the battalion. 3 water crossing points, 3 M90s. What does that look like? Done. Save, exit. So let's take a look. Did I not add them? Oh, they're right here. I messed something up. Oh, that'd be a really strong. Well, we can't do. I mean, we can't do an exact order of battle like that. Like we had to like really pick from this list. So if we go with this scout section, like the mortars we can do on standby. We can have off-map mortars, no problem. So if we do this, we can say this is our scout section. This gives us this gives us 3 M90s and 3 M113s with 2 scout teams. So we only need one of those. And then we say 2 M60s or an M55 or an M1. Put an M1 up there. And then this is TTS versus Rise passive. Which one has the thermals? We're going to need the thermals for the amount of smoke we're going to have. The problem is we can't split them off. So the tanks are going to be operating as a tank. So this is what we have now. You know, I really shouldn't start with the U.S. forces. The U.S. forces aren't really my concern. Like, I'm going to, like, tweak the U.S. forces a lot. So I don't know why I'm starting with them. Like, this is all going to be under player control. So what the U.S. forces do doesn't matter to me. Like, I'll give them the correct tools and the U.S. force, and we'll test play through it and make sure, like, it's balanced. But what I'm concerned about is the USSR. There we go. I should, like, print this map out so I can see what they have. So for our scout, we got to think, like, we can't really split our sections up. So we have dismounted. I think the BMDs would be a bit too much. I think BMP 1s are fine. How big do we get with a T-64? We rock 3 BMP 1 scout sections. 1, 2, 3. Go. Done. Save. Airborne. I don't know what a Soviet airborne company looks like. Soviet company. Let's see what Wikipedia says. That's a lot of words. Yeah, I mean, we're keeping it regular. I need to print this map out so I can write on it. So we should be moving these guys. 1, 2, 3. And if we're doing like a force in retreat, so we'll start with scouts, then we'll do main, then we'll do mechanized, then we'll do armored, and then we'll throw an artillery in there as well. So we have 3 BMPs, 2 BMPs. Units are going to be mounted. Load. Everyone's going to be loaded up. Load. Actually, we're going to dismount them. And I really want to make this area really, like, unattractive, too. I might delete it later on. So the Soviet forces go all the way forward, but if they're in retreat, they wouldn't really be this far back, this far forward. So I would put them on a hillside. BMPs, I'm not quite sure what their range is. You're going to wait right there for right now. And we can actually script these guys, but we'll do scripting last. So this, obviously, this is like a good spot for scouts. So let's put them there. It's a spot that makes sense to me. Everyone's dug in. I want these guys in the trenches, probably in this building. You in that building. These BMPs are dug in, and I'm not sure how strong these BMPs are. I hate it when they automatically detach. Reattach. Reattach. Oh my God, orders. Reattach. Everyone just reattach. So this is the first, not really much of a retreat if they're all dug in. Yep, Sagers with the ATGMs. I think if we zoom in, they'll have Sagers. Yep, right on top. Which, this is not a good spot for him. This is a good spot for him. Whatever. Nothing wrong with a well-placed artillery strike. All right, that's much better. They can see over those berms and down that hillside. So that's a good little defense. This house back here doesn't make a lot of sense, but we can't move the house. We can put them in this tree line, but why would we put them in the tree line? I mean, they are scouts. They should be used to being cold. And then we have another set. All right, so if we have one there, we should have one What's the distance? 500 meters. I'm thinking over here for my second scouts. Just short of the village and a place to retreat back to. Or this is actually just like a good spot as well for some awesome scouting action. I think a lot of these spots are too good to pass up. So we grab this guy. He goes right in the town though. He digs in this town, probably behind this fence. So what are you doing? What are you doing, cowboy? I guess his position is extremely limited. We're just going to go with that. Probably forward one more house. Jesus Christ, guys. Get in this house. Get in this house. All right. Those houses we just couldn't do anything about them. Unfortunate. And then, really? Jesus Christ. I just want these guys. Dude, please. Thank you. The problem is we need to make sure we lock these guys into position. So don't let me forget to lock people in position. Where's my lock? Where is my lock? I don't see anything that says lock in position, which is not cool. Because we don't want them to not be locked in position. Because if we do that, like we don't lock them in position, then we're kind of screwed. But I don't see a lock anywhere. Am I blind? Maybe it's different now. Maybe it's different compared to the other armor brigade. The other armor brigade, you'd have to lock units in position. Man, I almost fired up Combat Mission Shock Force 2 just to talk about, just because everything going on in Syria. I was like, that's probably what I should really play. I think like a scout element up here with some T-80s would make sense. All right. But we don't want to chew through the U.S. forces too bad. Because when I'm looking at this terrain, I hear it all. Are you enjoying Armor Brigade 2? When I'm looking at this terrain, it's like really favorable to Russia. Like this is... Yeah, I mean, everything's going to be super cheap right now. This is like really favoriting like Russia, USSR when I'm looking at like all this terrain. It looks like the US forces need to attack up one hill, two hills, and then across the water and then into a town. So that's... Oh shit. I forgot about this objective over here. Man, I would bring... I'm like really got that myopia going on. How you like an armor brigade? What is going on here? We don't care too much about this side, right? We're going to get rid of this water crossing point, so that side doesn't matter. Yeah, I'm like designing this scenario probably for like another 30, 40 minutes. I haven't played any of the scenarios they designed. I've just generally been playing whatever I design. So I know like they remade like the really popular one, like the two hillside one. Where do I want these guys? They need to scout out this area regardless. Go, 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 go. We're gonna pointlessly put these guys in these tree lines for right now. I think it's important to remember like we're walking into getting punched. Yeah, Twin Valleys. Yeah, man, everyone loves Twin Valleys. They always unload. Bro, they all love Twin Valleys. Well, we're gonna move both these guys over. Ooh, yeah. What are we looking like? Can he shoot out of this like tree line right here? I'm thinking that BMP1 can shoot out of that tree line. But all right, we're gonna start off with like that simple setup for a recon. The AI shouldn't really be able to do too much with it. These guys need to be in the trees. Oh shit! Why is this guy behind this hill? Oh, he's in this house, which doesn't make a lot of sense, but whatever. We're gonna put like scattered infantry on this hillside. Definitely some scattered infantry going to be in these trees and on these objectives and probably forward. So we'll do our first pocket of infantry. Then we'll do some. We'll have some BMP or BTRs pulling back. We'll script some BTRs pulling back to the objectives. And then we're going to set up some ATGM teams as well. So let's start with our ATGM teams. So we kind of have like our recon. Our recon's kind of set up. So we have 6 BMP1 Sagers. So each Sager has. How many does each Sager have? 5 missiles. So potentially like 30 tank kills. I mean, I don't see them doing that. 30 M113 kills. So that's like that's pretty potent. I mean, they can't really do much with those Sagers. But yeah. It's looking good. All right, let's save. Exit. Edit deployment. Let's do the conscripts, even though there are no conscripts. Select forces. So we go generic infantry. We need an infantry HQ. So here's our platoon. We're not doing airborne. What if we just do like an infantry company? I think an infantry company would be really good. Right? They don't have a completely pre-built company, but if we do like a reserve infantry company. That might be better than a generic one. So how do we see this? How do we see this? Yeah. Let's add it. Done. Save. Let's add it and see. They're up here. Let's take a look. RPG 7s, 5 high explosive anti-tanks.
Here.
Oh, thank you. That's an S for Sullivan.
And for me.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah, no, it takes a moment. It's just like,
Okay, run away. Come with me.
is this too much?
Come say goodbye to Grandma.
Is this too much?
Daddy doesn't need that right now. Come on.
1, 2, 3.
We don't need to be massaging everything. Come on.
I need to make sense in my head, like the scenario. I don't like the infantry company. I don't like the infantry company. It's too much. Daka daka. Oh yeah. But that's in support. We're not in support. Man pads. AT platoon. So we get 3 of these. It's just too much. It's too much for what I'm trying to do. I don't want the US to grind through, like, I don't want them to grind through like a bunch of, like a meat wall. You know what I mean? That's what I don't want. I don't want a meat wall feel. If we add like an infantry company, then it turns into a meat wall. So let's get our mortars. This is cool. This is just cool. And let's do it. Yeah. And then you got to like manage their HQ and everything. And especially if everyone's pulling back, we're going to put these 2 mortars and the tree line behind everyone. And then we're actually going to do a heavy mortar section. I know where you're going to go. Oh. 2 heavy mortars. They don't have a lot of ammo though. So 44 rounds. So I know where these are going to go. I'm going to add 2 heavy machine guns. No. Yeah, well, I mean, it's basically any unit can be an well, not any unit can be an HQ unit. An HQ just can be over any unit. We're gonna go 1. We're gonna go 2 heavy machine guns and 2 medium. Oh shit! All right, let's place these guys. So these guys are going behind the objectives. These are going behind the second objective or the first objective, and these guys are going into the town. Our scouts aren't going to be... Our scouts are going to be our main front line. And then behind them, we're going to have maybe 3 T-72s retrograding to the hillside. Or we're going to fortify this hill. We need an ATGM team. We're just going to go to the cheap ATGM. Ooh, AT gun. Ooh, AT gun, boy. Don't know why we'd have one, but let's do this. There we go. All right. We're just going to just randomly put an AT gun on this hillside. Fuck it. I think that's a good decision. All right. Where are my forces? Where did you hide them? All up there. All right, so we know where the medium mortars are going. We know where the heavy mortars are going. We know where the heavy mortars are going. We know where the HMG section's going. We know where this HMG section's going. And we know where this medium mortar is going. All right, so medium mortars are going to go by one medium mortar right here, one back here. Probably in this tree line. Bam. Yeah, I can upload it. You can download it. I mean, I haven't play tested this at all. So these guys are reinforced up here. This HMG, this heavy mortar, let's go up to the top. All right, HMG is just going to go right here. You got to cook it up. Yeah, man, you got to upload it. You're going to upload, hopefully you can upload all kinds of scenarios soon. Behind objective 2 and then behind objective 1. Right, we don't really need to think too hard with the mortars. Basically. They're not meant to be crazy. This HMG team, I don't know if they could see over these tree lines. So we have this tree line right here, and we have this tree line right here. And if they go up here, can they see over the trees? That's what I want to know. Where are they at? Where's my HMG? So they can see over these trees? Maybe? No. What about up here? I think this is a good HMG spot. This is a really good HMG spot. I want to grab this guy, though. And I want to put him over here. I think this scenario is already growing a bit too big. We're not even in the town yet, bro. We're like not even in the town. Mortars, HMG, BMPs. Mortars. This ATGM section is hillside. Basically, it's going to keep the player honest. They're not going to come this way. That's this whole that's the whole purpose of these ATGMs, is to keep the player honest right here. This ATGM section is going to go all the way in the back. And they're going to really do a number on the player. Probably right here, because I think this would make the most sense to place them, like tactically. What I mean by keep the player honest. So they don't try and cheese it, right? So they're not like, oh, I'll just run along this roadway, like unobstructed. That sort of thing. So it's just to be like, there we go. You go here, you do kind of like something in a scenario to like make sure the player doesn't do something cheese bally. That's all. Yeah, so instead of like, we gotta like guide the player through like the terrain, like through specific instances and specific areas. And if they're like, oh, look, this area is open, I'm going to get rid of this right here. But if they're like, oh, I'll just go through this area right here, unobstructed, nothing's there, then they could probably cheese the mission from there. All right, so I think we need to play test this first iteration and see how whatever force we have fares. And then we got to script our retreating forces to reinforce this position back here. So we're going to script some T-55, some BTRs, or some BMPs to just fully retreat and fortify this position. So we have some scouts. Oh, shit. You know what we forgot? Oh, shoot. You know what we forgot? this guy. So none of these guys are really going to be scripted right here. Oh my, it is. I have not set up my U.S. forces yet. But we are going to see what this is like. I'm interested to see how these units play. So we gotta like, this is like super favorable terrain to the, it sucks over here that there's all this unfortified terrain. Like if you just go, we might cut all this off. We might add like a no-go zone right here to prevent the player from just like going around. We'll have to restrict the terrain a little bit and kind of shut this down because we're not going to throw like a reserve company in there. Live streaming a guide. Oh, nah, man, it's all good. I gotta live stream what I want to see, or at least what I want to do. Yeah, we gotta like do a little bit of restricting here in a moment because there's a lot of open terrain. If we look at this, especially over here, there's nothing really right there, but we don't want to just throw like ATGM, 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 and just like saturate the player and make them absolutely miserable. So this is just our screening force. The next forces will be our T-72s and BMPs, BTRs falling back. We'll script them probably this way, and this way. And we need to, ooh, what did I do with that second AT? What did I do with that second heavy machine gun? Right, there's 1, 2. Oh, I put them both forward. No, these guys are not there. These guys are going to be a part of the reinforcements back here. Right there. This is like a really good hillside. I think this could be like a third objective, but we're not going to do that. Yeah, because you know some people will just try and do like, you know, like just like weird things to win. Like sometimes it's more about winning for people than it is anything else. Edit deployment. Oh, no. Not what I wanted to do. Game the game. Heck yeah, man. Select forces. All right, so we have our scout section. Yeah, no, I fully get it, man. There's like sometimes where it like also depends on the scenario. If like you're gonna make it really difficult for someone, they're gonna find a way to make it really easy on themselves. I really don't like how limited these mortars are lately. I'll take like 114. And we're just rocking the M60s. I think I like the M60s more than I like the M1s. The M1s are really, really good tanks. But at the end of the day, like, I'm not trying to steamroll everything. Ooh, that's an... I mean, it's really, really good. It's a really good tank. The M60s are a bit less formidable, but I like them a little bit more. Especially for a Cold War setting. And then we could just throw some T-55s on the front line instead of like T's, and maybe like 2 T-72s and some T-55s, and really like make it a slugfest. Maintaining my main battle tank. Oh my god. Oh, how many are in here though? 1, 2, 3, 4, 4 or 5. That's too many tanks. Four. I'm in 1983. So the M1s right here, they have 105. I mean, the M1s might be like the players might enjoy the M1s more than they would enjoy the M60s. What does an entire tank company look like? Oh yeah, shoot. We're gonna take a look, see what this looks like. So an entire like, but yeah, they'll probably struggle with too many T-72s. It's a balancing act. So I just want to see what these look like. So we're gonna like blow through this area, right? We have battalion scout section. We have some anti-tanks. We have 4, so 4, 8, 12. 12 tanks. Let's see how it plays out. We don't need to do anything crazy right now. I'll probably finish this later. This is going to take a while. Alright. These mortars are fine. Mortars are fine. Where did that go? Where did that go? Alright, let's test it. Let's test it. Let's do a quick test. Main menu, no one scripted, new game, single mission, user, water crossing, play. Alright, we are the U.S. forces. There's my HQ unit. I was like wondering where that went. Alright, so this is a lot of terrain. Let's see what it's like. Oh, we do have some M60s going. God dang, my dude. Just reattach. Alright, so let's move out our scouts. Alright, initial reconnaissance is done. I'm not too worried about doing this correctly or strategically. I'm just seeing where our engagement points are at and then how to counter them, and then we're going to send up our recon tanks second. And I'm also seeing how long it takes to move across this terrain, right? Because we don't want the player just dragging across terrain for no reason. Is that like a machine gun on that? We'll move to secure this roadway. Obviously, this is our first major objective. All right, tanks are going to move next. We're going to change their formation into a line. And they're going to move up here as well. So let's see how long it gets to contact. And that's probably... We got to think of like that delayed gratification. How long are people willing to wait while their units move into position before they get to this first objective and get engaged? So we're going to start moving these tanks next. Everyone's going to be moving fast in this scenario. All right, scouts are in position. Scouts need to go. Looks like they are... So we got our first contact right there. I believe that's that. That is the gun. Unknown. I forgot we also have weather at 2,800 meters. So I wonder, this guy looks like he's not ready to cross this roadway. So are we saying we're not going, so why are we moving so wild? Shift, left shift in the scroll wheel. What are we gotta pause here. We need to pause here. Why are we opting to not cross this waterway, which we could easily cross? What's going, so why are we doing this? Let's take a look. We're trying to figure that out. So we have our scouts prioritizing road movement right now. Is that because we're a fast order? Our tanks as well. So our tanks are going on the road as well. So let's delete that. Delete last waypoint. So why are we doing this? Formations. Spacing small. Orders. SOP. We're going to say short. If we say advance, do they do it? Let's resume. We got a fight breaking out over here. That's that ATGM team we put in there. So our tanks are going to readjust their spacing first. And it looks like we are doing okay. But this fight right here isn't really for our scouts. So we're trying to force our units across this waterway, which I thought they should be able to do. But let's see. Because this is important if we like think about unit placement for our units and for the player, like what's best for them. And if we zoom out and we take a look at things, we got to figure out what they're doing, why they're doing it. So we're saying this riverway is I don't know why you pop smoke right there. Alright, so our tanks are moving to engage. Our scouts are moving back across. Jesus Christ, these guys are tearing it up, boy. This tank does not like whoever that guy is up there. Look at that. Alright, so we destroyed those enemy troops, and we lost one ATGM in that fight. Gun. They know that's a gun, so it's going to be outmaneuvered by our M1A1s. I still don't really like how slow this moves, but whatever. Are these guys like suppressed back here? We don't even know. Oh, something got our one guy. I guess we also got to consider ammo expenditure too. So let's zoom out. So what we just came... So our units are not crossing these small waterways. I need to pull up the manual and check on that. How many of those waterways do we have on this map? Just one. So they won't cross the small rivers for some reason. I'm not sure why that is. We're 10 minutes into the scenario. We've lost two units and 3 units. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We have a lot of units left. We're actually not even mortaring anyone yet, so I'm not super duper concerned. So when we think about unit placement next time, we want to be near these roadways. So our units are going to go that way through cover, and our units are going to go this way through cover. Because I guess this isn't frozen. But I don't want the entire thing frozen. I could change it to be frozen and they would cross, but we're not going to do that. So let's check out how these guys are faring. We lost one M113. Our T90 is doing just fine. We're going to say everyone's going to move fast. I'm going to bring the second phase of the assault. Looks like they destroyed that gun too. How many shots was that? God, that's like 17 shots to destroy this one gun. Lost a lot of good men in that fight. We're not playing too tactical though, or too strategic. We're just testing. So these M1s are really, really slow. Those guns put in work, man. They got a lot of good people in that fight. Right? Basically, our entire scout section was destroyed. So it's slow. Slow scenario. Big. We're not even at the BMPs yet with the Sagers. So we got a ways. It depends on how it feels. Right? Does the scenario feel fun? Are we hitting a good pace? So the lesson we learned is we can't cross these rivers. Yeah, I mean we're gonna get our next engagement at objective 1. We've destroyed what, 2 ATGM and main cannons. And we're moving. I'm surprised we didn't set engagement ranges for really anything up on this hillside. All right, this guy's kind of moving just out in the open, which is fine. It's going to take a while for all those things to... We're gonna, just to mess with these guys, fire like 5 rounds into their position. That's like right on top of our units. All right, so I know there's... All right, so enemy ground unit. Oh, you went too far forward. All right, so this is, I believe, a HMG. These guys are under fire. I'm not sure who's suppressing this guy, though. So these guys are just firing down range. I'm not worried about them. I don't think there's anything that can damage him. So we're just putting rounds down range, keeping them just suppressed, which is fine. Right, so this guy's probably like, bro. And he's under mortar fire. That's not good for him. Sucks for that guy. Ooh, someone shot. So we got some gunfire going on. This guy's under fire in this tree line right here. Jesus Christ, they're like shooting into these trees, man. That's pretty brutal. And we got some firing over there. All right, so we got all kinds of troops now. We lost one M1. All right, this guy's immobilized now. What's wrong with this guy? This guy is immobilized and he's panicked. Pop smoke, bro. Oh, he did pop smoke. Those guys are going to need to get into the tree line here in a moment. All right, our company of tanks are moving into this next position. What are we at? 20 minutes? Pretty gnarly scenario. I am playing my own scenarios and my own mods like I always do in Armor Brigade. Oh, shoot. I always mod my own scenario. I always create. I mostly just create stuff for Armor Brigade. All right, so we have, but I'm liking it. I like the 3D view. The 3D is really good. I like the pacing so far. I would like, oh, shoot. So they're behind that house. Here comes some more M1s. My mods. I have a cluster mod that I use. I generally go in there and I change a few things. Ooh, what's going on over there? That's new. There should be no one over there. So that's the AI making moves. This is an AI move right there. I'm not sure why that's right there. I made a mod that turns a loft bomber into a cluster strike versus just dropping high explosives. But for some reason, you can only have one loft type of munition, which was really interesting. I don't run civilians, no. Oh, no damage. So we're getting... Looks like the enemy retrograded back here. Dude, you're under attack, my man. I think you're under attack from that position. I don't know where you're taking fire from, but you need to, like, figure it out. I'm trying to figure out if the AI moved all my units. These guys... So this is like a good little killing box right there. So we want to avoid that like crazy next time. So that ATGM was a really honest placement. I don't really run civilians, no. Not in this scenario. Not in this one at all. So they left this main gun here. They left this ATGM here. There should be a bunch of BMPs up here. I need to go back in the scenario and figure out how to lock them into place. Like, what's going on here? There it is. All right, so there's that main gun right there. I didn't put that gun right there. So the AI moved that. The AI also abandoned this position right here. And this... Alright, nope, there's a mortar right there. Yeah, but I don't want the AI pulling back. Like, they pulled back their entire scout section. So basically what the AI did was it pulled everyone back and reinforced the objectives. I'm going to reinforce the objectives myself. So that took us like a good 20 minutes to get across, but we learned a lot. All right. Why did the AI do that? Edit deployment. All right, so U.S. forces, this tank company's fine. We can't cross this river, so we're going to just position everyone to go right there. This is like a really dumb position for things, but I'm going to let the user make their own decision with their recon scouts. Yeah, it seems like it's missing. Right, I should be able to right click these guys and there should be a lock. All right, so those guys can lock. All right, I see it right there. These guys all need to be switched to column and they all need to be moved. I'm not worried about US right now. USSR. Edit deployment. Right? So all these guys need to be locked. Oh, I did put that right there. Look at Joe. You're so super smart. I don't really like that right there. I don't know if that's a good spot or a bad spot. Yeah, I thought it was over here too, but lock. Lock. Everyone needs a lock. No one's leaving their spots. AI just put like a machine, which I didn't. Yeah, oh yeah, man. I was like, because I remember one time I set up a scenario for a YouTube video and I went to play it live and like no, like the AI just decided to do whatever the AI does. And I was like, where is everyone? So it was like 30 minutes of me just doing nothing. And I was like, whatever. I already spent 30 minutes making this. It is what it is. All right. U.S. Army edit deployment. Yeah, you could like script it. Like we're just working on the screening force right now. Like we're not going to what is the fucking hotkeys? I need to learn the goddamn hotkeys. There we go. Like straight up need to learn them. This is such a bad situation for our recon units. So let's do this. This river sucks right here. That like makes it way difficult for the US forces. Sucks to be the US forces in this scenario. Infiltration is weird. You have to deploy your units into an area where you don't think the enemy's at. So if we go to main menu and we go to new game and we go to our game, we go to water crossing that is taking forever to build and probably will not end up being a video. All right. So if you come over here and you do infiltration, you can't be spotted by the enemy AI. So we know there's a guy there, and we click on this guy and we say infiltrate. Where is it at? I guess these guys can't infiltrate any further. Am I blind? Maybe it's because they're already forward. Is that not a thing? Oh, there's in the middle zone. That's my fault. Yeah, that's my fault. If there was, you would right click them, say infiltrate, and then you would put them where you don't think there was where the enemy can't spot you, otherwise it'll fail. So say if I tried to infiltrate up on this hillside where there's a whole bunch of enemies, or I knew there was like places to be spotted, I couldn't infiltrate up here. But I could infiltrate like into this tree line because no one can see me there. I could infiltrate probably over here because no one can see me. I could infiltrate probably behind these towns because no one can see me. That's all. I could infiltrate into this wooded area because no one can see me. That's all it means. Fast as fuck, boy. Yeah, man. All right, this is going to play a lot differently now. Like, a lot different. Why does it smell like hot dogs in my house? Like, seriously. Like, I'm like, what is going on? All right, and we're going to get everyone moving a little bit faster than we were last time. We could go, like, around this forest, but I want everyone to attack up the middle. These guys are going to have a much harder time. These smokes, I wish you could change, like, the shape of the smoke. Instead of like this square, I wish you could say like a line, like a line right here or a line right here versus just like a generic 50-meter square. You know what I mean? I think that would be really cool. I know you can do it with on-call artillery. Oh, these guys are moving a lot faster. Oh, it's because we put them on the roadway. All right, so we got some smokes already fallen. So that's important. That's always important to make sure your units are like properly positioned. And I guess a basic understanding of game mechanics make it a little easier too, right? They shouldn't be dropping that much smoke already. All right, so we got some things popping off. We got smoke going up. We got units spotted, so we're just gonna try and chill a little bit. We're gonna pop smoke, provide ourselves with some concealment, and we're gonna advance. So now this next part's gonna be a bit tricky. So let's see what we can. Let's see if we have spotters over here, and maybe we can obstruct this line of sight. Oh, yeah, I need to... Oh, there we go, baby. Hold on. All right, so one BMP down. We have another BMP up and running. BMP destroyed. Oop. Oh, our TTS was immobilized. All right, so we're under counter battery. All right, those guns are active again, so we got to be really, really careful. All right, we don't want our tanks targeting soft. No soft targets. So SOP, hard targets only. Hold on soft. We don't want our tanks targeting soft targets right now. I don't know what it considers soft targets, but we don't want them doing it. Before we advance out of this area, how can you find mortars in the wild if you didn't place them? I place my mortars. I don't know. I place these guys. I know those guys are there. I mean, I don't think you find them in the wild. Oh my god, we're clustering right here. We got a bad cluster. All right, we gotta maintain momentum. This is like a perfect target for a mortar strike. We gotta get out of here. Hold on, I gotta sort this out. We lost one tank. He's got smokes off. He's buttoned up. He's heavily damaged. Let's get these M1s in front. I guess those second M1s are not targeted. We're trying to get our recon element. Oh, shoot. Look at that. That ATGM is not nice at all. We're going to unload. It's probably better to drop Artie on that, now that I'm thinking about it. I thought I could smoke advance, but we're just going to... We could fire for effect, but we're going to drop like 10 rounds. Which was just wondering if there's a way to narrow it down in a mission. No, you can have them come in. We can like set them up to like spawn in like on call. Or you can have like target reference points. You can have like off map artillery where you can make it a bit more, you make it a bit different. There's a few things you can do. We're going to change this formation to line. And then we're going to advance out of here. All right, enemy troops destroyed. We got a cluster right here, so we can't really be doing this. All right, we need to advance the scout section as well. Like our tanks are kind of front lining it, which are way more valuable than our scouts, I would imagine. All right, smoke ready. We're going to get this smoke off. Our M1's taking fire. Let's get this smoke off. Hold on, we gotta fight our way through this. Yes, it lowers the target reference point. Will make it. You'll be a lot fat. What are you doing? You crazy man! Pop smoke. These guys need to get out of here. A target reference point is gonna make it easier for you to like zone in that area. These are on map RD, so they just take a while to zone in regardless. They're trying to get rid of that gun up there. Which, whatever. This guy's immobilized, right? And he's panicked. Pop smoke, baby. I'm trying to get these scouts out of this position. And I'm trying to get these guys... It smells like... He is living in hell right now. Like, straight up. Like, look at him out there. I kind of wish you could degrade them a bit more, but whatever. Here comes some artillery. Now he's under artillery fire. Oh. That gun is undeterred, though. I don't know, man. He's putting rounds down range. Like, he's in a really, really good spot. I don't really believe he'd be as operational as he could be, but... Alright, so those guys are routed. That's interesting. I mean, one M113 lost. Our HQ's a bit far behind. I mean, he ain't firing no more. Let's get some fire support going. Remember, we got to deal with all the BMPs up here as well. So this tank company's doing work. It's going a lot faster this time. I think we are kind of got some of that speed resolved. Those guys are finally moving. I think it's best not to even approach from this direction at all. So if the player does decide to go this way, they're just gonna like, I think this is like a good killing field right here. And so if they go that way, it puts them in a bad position. So we could really punish them. I mean, that ATGM punishes them enough, but we could probably punish them a bit more by putting like a grenade team or a second ATGM right here. And it really shuts down that whole avenue of advance. Not that it's like necessary. I think it's already a miserable way to go, especially with your scout section. But if the player like tries to jam a bunch of tanks through there, through this heavily wooded area just for the cover, it's just not going to be a good time for them. And it's going to make the scenario less fun for them. So let's just punish them extra by making it even less fun. Well, that gun's gone. Oh, that would be great. Yeah, because you already, I mean, I think playing it once, I can already come to the conclusion that this just isn't a good way to go. Even with all that cover, it slows your movement down. And so we can just reinforce that behavior like, hey, this isn't a good way to go. Get shot by more shit. Versus like this area, which is like, has three, like cover, 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 and then allows you to function this way. And also, yep, and you also go across this like 90-degree turns into this bridge. And this whole left flank right here is just absolutely miserable. All right, we got some contact again. These should just be like recon troops. What is that? That's a heavy machine gun team. Look, another BMP down. That's a long scenario, though. I mean, this isn't even the main fighting. This is the main fighting right here. Oh, shoot. What happened to you? There's like units. Oh, yeah, there's some units up there. I mean, this is a monster of a scenario already. Interesting. So this is a good flank position. Whatever is over there has really shut down some of our units. So this guy's being engaged again. This is our HQ unit. Is this guy really active still? There ain't no way that guy's still functioning. This gun is like in a really, really good position for some reason. And I don't know why. Yeah, I know. He's just fucking shutting everyone down. Like this is also just like punishment for the player. It's just in like such a good position. Like he is like, there it goes. All right. That was wild. That was absolutely wild. These M1s are on their way to investigate this. I mean, just look at like the pocketed ground. Like these guys are coming for revenge. Let's see what they get. We don't even need that artillery there anymore. God, look at this recon section. I don't know. I don't. I guess the question we have is this too big? I mean, we haven't even added like the infantry yet or anything like that, and we haven't even started our main assault, which is here and here. Like there's not like there's nothing going to be right here. Like we're gonna spot units retreating, but there's nothing major right here. And if we think about this, this has been going on for 15 minutes. So another 20. If the player goes through these woods, that's going to add a lot of time for them. So that's their decision. I wouldn't go through the woods. How far did we go? In 15 minutes, we went with combat 3,000 meters. What's that? 12, 22, almost 3 miles in 15 minutes. 3 miles. This scout section is something is wrong with it. I don't know what, but they are struggling. So if we go from here, there's going to be no combat really for another 2 miles almost. Two miles-ish, 3 miles. All right. It's going to be a monster of a scenario. Yo, thank you for the $3. Thank you so much. That's awesome. My dude, you did not have to do that at all ever, but I will appreciate it nonetheless. It will go straight into NVIDIA. So let's think here. This took 15 minutes to get here, right, Hero? Hey, man, anything helps lately. Anything. I am super appreciative of anything. So now we're at the second part. Save and exit. Mission editor. How to get this up so you could play it. USSR, edit, select forces. Oh yeah, those are just scenario designs too. Those are just more scenarios. All right, so we're doing main force right now. All right, let's do tanks. Let's do tanky tanks. Let's do a company. No, if we do a company of T-55s. The problem is we can't script like actual objectives into the game. So if we do this, we have to actually push them off the objective. That's the problem we run into. So whatever force we put into those objectives or retreating back to those objectives needs to be dealt with. So if we put like 2 companies of T-55s, that's 369 9 tanks, 9 T-55s the player needs to deal with versus our 12 M1A1s. I don't think that's super fair. I think it's tolerable. We're going to actually throw in some Bradleys too. So we're going to do like a company of M1s, probably a company of Bradleys. Off-map mortars, air power. We're going to do some mine. We're going to change our scouting force too. Basically, we're just going to shut off that whole avenue of approach. I don't want anyone going that way. I mean, I'm not going to go that way again. So we do T-55 company. That's 12 tanks. We send the 12 tanks one direction and then 2 platoons the other direction. That's 9, 3. We have to think they're also going to cross the river and be in a fortified spot into a town. Let's do 2 and 2 and 2 HQs. 2 HQs, 1 for each one, and then 6 each. 1, 2, 1, 2. Done. Save. Exit. Edit deployment. So these guys are on the run. One's going to go one direction, the other one's going to go the other direction. So HQ over here, HQ over here. We're going to put them retreating from the hillside. We're going to change our SOPs to be the shortest. They don't need to go through the woods. And then we're going to do some infantry. So these guys are actually scripted. So we go orders, formation. I wish I could select all of them. Formation, column. I can. Sick. All right. Nothing crazy needs to happen with these guys. They just need to go balls to the wall across the water. So we're going to say fast. They're on the move, right? They need to get into position. 2. 3, 4, 5. They're not going to go actually into the village. Right? And then right here. With how long it's going to take, I don't think the smoke generator makes any sense. But whatever. I'm going to go line. Split, no. Sync, no. SOPs. I think that's all good. And we click on this. Edit SOPs. Here they're just going to... Yeah, no, all of that's fine. Spacing is going to be narrow. And their formation is going to be a line. It sucks that you can't just change it all at once. So basically they're going to turn around. Hopefully they don't. My concern is they're going to like stop and face the wrong way, but whatever. This HQ unit just balls to the wall. He just wants to get out of here. Do I need to lock these? No, I shouldn't have to lock them, but I'm going to. Everything's going to be locked, but I just don't want the AI to touch it. Do, do. Yeah. Well, the player is not going to play as a USSR. It's one side only. Like straight up, it's just going to be one side. Yeah, no. I understand what you're saying, but these T-50 reserves are going to fall back and they're going to face this area right there, and then they're going to engage. These guys have a worse command. They're going to stay in a column, so they're actually going to get slowed down by all these bad decisions they make. And they're going to go... These ones are actually going to fortify here, here, and here. So one will stop here, one will stop here, and then one will go across. Well, the recon... The ones will go... And the HQ is just going to haul ass out of there. Right? So we have two different situations unfolding right here. One T-55 company or two platoons are going to fall back to... Did I hit my goddamn head? I did hit my goddamn head. Okay. These T-55s are going to be moving back, are going to secure this area. These T-55s are going to... Or maybe we reinforce this one with infantry. Like all the T-55s go one way, the infantry goes the other way. Or we just say this one's already fortified. So we have all our T-55s fall back. You sick? So I must have hit my goddamn head. I forgot about this objective. So we're going to send these guys. We're going to delete all their waypoints. These guys right here, we're going to delete. These guys right here, we're going to delete all their waypoints. These guys got confused during the retreat, and they're going over here. So these guys are going to split up. They're going to fall back, reinforce. The other T-55s are going to go reinforce this position. Two of them are going to stop at these two towns. So we have three T-55s, three T-55s, and the HQ unit. And then a T-55 actually directly across the water crossing, preventing people from coming out in the open. ATGM team, we might put two heavy machine guns. I think that's fine. I think that might be enough combat. And then we mine some stuff. I don't know. It really depends on what I'm going to give the player too. I'm going to give the player some cluster bombs with some airstrikes and Apache. Player gets an Apache. Because we're advancing. We're trying to eliminate these guys. So here. Nothing here. We got to do infantry. So we'll do ATGMs probably directly in this tree line. ATGM already there. And we'll do like a machine gun team. All right. But all that we'll have to wait till tomorrow. I got to go cook dinner. I have to cook dinner. Hero, thank you for the donation or the $3. That is amazing, man. Everything is always appreciated. We'll probably play test this a few more times. Figure it all out. Enjoy the Sea Power videos. And yeah, man, catch everyone later. Peace out, guys.